Okay, good evening. Tonight we'll be learning perek 5 of Mesilat Yesharim, factors that detract from zehirut, vigilance, and how to avoid them. So the Ramchal says there are three factors that detract, that take away the value of zehirut. Number one, the involvement and preoccupation with life, being busy with life. Number two, lack of seriousness, lacking respect and mockery. And number three, bad company. Now let's explain each factor. Number one, involvement and preoccupation with life. When people are so taken up and so busy, preoccupied, and they are so preoccupied that their thoughts, or I should say our thoughts, are caught up with our preoccupations, and it becomes impossible for our thoughts to focus on our deeds, whether they are right or wrong. We're just too busy to think. If you remember, we learned in perek number 2 that the Yetzer Hara does a good job at keeping us busy. In fact, so busy that we don't have time to think. There we learned about Paro, how he increased the workload on Ben Israel, so they would not have time to think. How can we avoid this obstacle? Obviously, this is something really serious and something that we need to work on. Chachamim taught us, Heve mema'ed be'esek ve'asok batorah. Reduce your involvement in business and involve yourself in limud Torah. This is really a very big statement. Obviously, we need to be involved in our business, in our jobs. We need to work to support ourselves. But it is not necessary for the business or the job to take over our lives. There's a difference. Working to the point where we have no time for anything else. To the point that it does not leave us room for limud Torah. Because if we neglect limud Torah, we'll find many excuses to neglect it even more. As we say in Kriyat Shema, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננת לבניך ודיברת בה בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשכבך ובקומך. Twice a day we say Shema, and we say these words of Torah that I'm commanding you today. It means the commandment is an obligation of every day on your heart. Vishinantam levanecha, you have got to teach them and review them with your children. Vidibata bam, and you have got to speak Torah. Beshivtecha, when you are sitting at home, bevetecha, at home you're sitting, you come home from work. Ubelechtecha baderech, and on the way to work. And then ubeshachbecha ufkumecha. Ubeshachbecha, when you come home, you're home already from work. Your day is done. You still have got to learn Torah. Ufkumecha, and then the next day again, you're waking up again. You start over again. We must study Torah and make time for it every single day. Chachamim say that in the zehirut of learning Torah, Hashem will protect us, and the Torah itself will protect us. But if we neglect limud HaTorah, learning Torah, even just for one day, we distance ourselves twice as much from Hashem. How does it work? So it's like this. For example, for us to have a better understanding, let's say that the distance of a day's learning is 1 mile. So it means Hashem is meeting us. So from point A. So from point A to us, let's say it's a mile long, and then from point A to Hashem, it's again another mile. So Hashem says, if you don't learn Torah one day, you didn't just lose 1 mile, you actually lost 2 miles. Our mile from point A to us, and from point A to Hashem. So it means that it's so easy to lose the touch, and so easy to just forget and not learn, because Yitzhara is doing such a great job, right? When Hashem to see just the Ramchal is bringing a few examples, and he says like this: when Hashem told Yehoshua, "Lo yamush sefer haTorah hazeh mipicha vehegeta bo yoma v'layla," this sefer Torah should not move from your mouth. It means that you should be studying it, vehegeta bo, and you should be learning it day and night, studying from it day and night. Now, Yoshua was the leader right after Moshe, and Hashem wanted him to cross the Yarden, the Jordan River, into Eretz Israel, at the time Eretz Canaan, with Ben Israel. He had to fight, he had the job of fighting 31 kings to conquer the land. Hashem spoke to him before he crossed the Yarden, the Jordan River. We should think really that Joshua had plenty to do, being the leader, taking care of this huge nation, making sure that everyone crosses the river, and then settling in a new place. And they had to make a Brit Milah for many, many people who did not have a Brit Milah, because they got into Eretz Israel a few days before Pesach. They were going to make Korban Pesach, so they needed to have the Brit Milah. There was so much to do, and those wars that they had to take care of, 31 wars against 31 kings to fight against, right? Yet Hashem says, not a single day has to pass that you are not learning Torah. It means that your whole success as a leader depends if you are going to learn Torah every single day. Even as a leader, you have no right not to learn Torah. And we see that Hashem demands the same standard from the kings, from Jewish kings. A Jewish king had to learn Torah every day. So this law of learning Torah every day is for every single Jew. Whether you're a king, or whether you are just a regular person, whether you're a community leader, learning Torah should be part of your schedule, of your daily schedule. So Ramchal says, if one doesn't set aside time for learning Torah, he's likely to find his time that is increasingly being filled up with so many things to do for his job, or so many demands for his business, or whatever. His days are going to be filled up, so filled with work that he won't even have time to think. And that's what the Yetzer Hara wants. And that person won't be able he won't be able to think, won't be able to have time to actually learn anything. But that's really why the Yetzer Hara is working so hard to make us busy. The Ramchal explains the unique connection between studying Torah and acquiring zehirut. So I think that at this point, we come to the realization and also appreciation of what the Maharal is saying, the Ramchal is saying regarding zehirut, being careful, to check ourselves, because it is really so important. We already learned that it's very necessary for a person to get the midah of zehirut. As Rabbi Pinchas Ben Yair said, Torah mevi'ah lidei zehirut, that Torah study brings one to zehirut, because a person will be inspired by his limud Torah, through the limud Torah, to check his activities. And Chachamim teach us, velo am haaretz hasid, that an ignorant person cannot be a chassid. Can't. You cannot be a chassid. To be able to learn chassidut, one must first learn Torah and have knowledge of Torah. Chassidut is another level. It's above. And Ramchal says, you cannot become a chassid. We're not talking about the chassidim that we see on the street that are dressed in a special way, or they do things in a certain way. That's not what we're talking about. This is not what the Torah is talking about. When the Torah is talking about the chassid, it's talking about someone who is a Talmid Chacham, someone who's learned a lot of Torah, someone who's already a tzaddik, and then he wants to go above the law. He wants to do even more, get closer to Hashem. So a chassid, his life is really concentrated in Avodat Hashem. The Ramchal actually spends much later on, talks a lot more about this chassidut. But for now, we just know for now that a chassid is someone who is already a Talmid Chacham, someone who's a tzaddik, and who wants to go above the law. The Yetzer Hara, Hashem created the Yetzer Hara. So Hashem knows what's going to be against the Yetzer Hara to fight it. So what did Hashem create to fight the Yetzer Hara? The Torah. Study of the Torah. That is the medicine for the Yetzer Hara. Since Hashem created this refu'ah, actually Chachamim call it a refu'ah, this medicine, it is impossible to take care of the Yetzer Hara in different ways, or fight it without learning Torah, without the limud HaTorah. In the Gemara, it compares this to someone who has a wound. He has a wound, and the doctor comes and gives him a bandage, puts medicine on it, and the doctor says to him, as long as the bandage is on it, right, with the medicine, then you're okay. The moment you remove the bandage, you take it off completely, then your wound is going to get infested, is going to get infection, and then you'll run into trouble. So the Ramchal says this is exactly, the wound is the Yetzer Hara. And as long as we fight it and we learn Torah, what's the best way to fight it? By learning Torah. So as long as we learn Torah, that bandage is kept on, and the Yetzer Hara cannot infect us, cannot really harm us. Some people think, I don't need to learn Torah every day. I don't need to set time for Torah every day. I can do this on my own. I can find different ways, different tactics. I'll be okay. However, the Ramchal says this is a big mistake. And in the end, by the time he's going to realize the mistake that he has made, it will be way too late. Because the Yetzer Hara is very strong within a person. And if left unchecked, without a person's awareness, it grows stronger and stronger within him and eventually dominates him. Someone said once, don't even open the door to the Yetzer Hara. Because once you open the door, even just a little bit, Yetzer Hara is going to put his foot in. You cannot close the door again. And once Yetzer Hara has his foot in, you let him in, that's it. He becomes your boss. So man should not delude himself with thinking that he can find another way to fight the Yetzer Hara. All will fail. He will find himself so far removed because Yetzer Hara is his boss, and he took him so far away. This person is going to be so far removed that he won't even think about his deeds. What am I doing? That thought will never even enter his mind. So Limud Torah is the only way to defeat completely the Yetzer Hara. Ramchal explains it through a mashal. The Ramchal explains it through an example. A sick person went to see a doctor who diagnosed his illness and prescribed him medicine with clear instructions. However, this person decided, I don't need to listen to this doctor. I'm okay, I'm fine. I'll find something. Now this person is basing his decision not on knowledge, doesn't have any knowledge, scientific knowledge or medicinal knowledge. He has no clue about medicines. But he decided, I won't take this medicine, but I'll take something else. I'll be fine. Surely this person is not going to be fine. Surely this person will get in trouble. Surely this person is not going to get better. It's not going to get a refuah. And who else besides Hashem can tell us better that the medicine for Yetzer Hara is Limud HaTorah. Hashem created us, created the Yetzer Hara, so therefore he knows best. So this is part 1 of perek 5 of Mesilat Yesharim. And again, in the zehirut of this learning, Be'ezrat Hashem should listen to our prayers, especially this Erev Rosh Chodesh Nisan, and Hashem should, just as He made many miracles for Ben Israel back then in Mitzrayim and coming out of Mitzrayim and in the Midbar, so too Hashem should do for us miracles and send Yeshua to each and every one of us, whatever one needs. Again, whether it's Parnasa or Shalom or Shidduchim or Refuah or Nahat with the children, whatever it is, may Hashem send us His miracles, make miracles for us again, and Hashem should help us to get stronger.